Hi, I'm Ella Harvey. I'm VP Welfare at QMSU, and I have the pleasure today of interviewing Rushanara Ali, who is the local MP for Bethnal Green and Bow. So we'll be talking about things to do with kind of like leadership skills and what Rushanara's learned in her role as an MP. So for the first question, in your view, what are the top 3 skills that define good leadership?
Hi, Ella. It's great to be back at Queen Mary. Well, the top 3 qualities, leadership skills. I think the first one is about having a strong set of values that you believe in, that you can speak to. And the second is being able to communicate with people, being able to relate to people, and empathize and understand and listen to their concerns. For me, those 2 are really important. And the third, I would say, if you're talking about skills, is being really organized.
Yeah.
Some people would say that's a very boring thing to say. But actually it's so important because it can let you down. You can be the most charismatic, inspiring person, but if you're not able to respond to people who need your help, if you're not able to organize yourself properly, or you don't manage, you forget to go and meet somebody that you've arranged to meet, then you are letting them down. Absolutely. And that can let you down, that you can let them down and yourself down. So those are the 3 things, I think: values, what you stand for, being able to work with and relate to people and understand them and respond to their needs, and having the kind of organizational abilities and to be able to make sure those things happen, so you follow through on what you're supposed to and what you commit to doing.
Yeah, I suppose it's about trust, isn't it, really? From what you said, you need people to be able to trust in you as a leader to kind of carry that gravitas. So based on that, so which quality or skill has served you the most in your own career? It doesn't have to be something you've just said, but...
In my political career, the most important quality that I've had to harness actually is the need to be absolutely self-confident, at least outwardly. And have self-belief that you are doing this for the right reasons, and you are doing it because it is for the good of the people you are standing up for. And I do believe that. Even at times when you have doubts, it's important to remind yourself that it is, it's the right thing to do. And then, having the absolute confidence to face people down who will constantly try and talk you down, try and bring you down. And there were a lot of people like that when I started out. There were plenty of supporters and who did the opposite, who were very encouraging and motivating and worked really hard to get me elected. But in equal measure, there were people who did the opposite. So you have to have your armory of confidence and self-belief in public life to charge ahead and go and deliver what you're meant to deliver for your constituents.
That's really interesting that you say that as well, because I think a lot of young people especially, and as you say, you had to learn that yourself, I think a lot of young people will kind of read about leadership or read about what skills employers look for, and I think a lot of them can feel quite daunting, so I don't think young people think they have those skills. So it's good to kind of keep in mind, I suppose, for anyone watching the interview, that it is something that you have to
I think you have to work at it. And I often say when I'm asked, what's the advice I would give to my younger self? It is to have more self-belief and to give myself more encouragement. Like many young people, when I was younger, I used to spend as much time, talking myself out of doing things, or thinking I wasn't good enough, or I didn't belong. And actually it can be very debilitating at times. It can take up a lot of energy that you could channel into doing positive things. And ironically, actually, going into politics and facing lots of hostility and pressure and criticism turned out to be the kind of environment that then meant that I had to just put those self-doubts behind me and get on with it. But that said, I think that it's not a bad thing to question yourself from time to time, to ask yourself if you're doing the right thing, if you are ready to do something, and have some doubt. That's not a bad thing either. It's about not letting it make you feel paralyzed into not taking action or not moving to the next step.
Absolutely, yeah, very powerful words. So I think this is the final question. So, which is better for a leader today, agility or determination, and why?
I think you have to have both. You do absolutely have to have both. And I think, your viewers will see examples of leadership that's not at all agile. That's not good, not healthy. I think having flexibility, listening, being prepared to respond and address concerns is really important, because society is changing very rapidly, and you have to move with that change very quickly, and different people have different needs. It does mean there are much greater expectations on people in public life, but that approach then is really helpful to be able to do your job properly. The determination part is really, really important. Because if you are not determined and if you're not persistent, then you can really struggle in any walk of life, in any career. So you have to have the kind of stamina and the grit and determination to pursue whatever line of career direction that you're pursuing, and that very much applies to leadership positions, whether it's in politics or in business or academia. To pursue a particular outcome, you've got to be really, really, really determined.
Absolutely, that was great. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Rushanara, for coming along today.